Hi, I'm Michael Henry, Master Blender for Loch Lomond Distillery. Today I'll be introducing you to our global travel retail range. At Loch Lomond, we're one of Scotland's most innovative distilleries. We use our knowledge and understanding of distillation to create flavours at the beginning of the whisky making process, before the new mixed spirit enters the cask. We do this by using different shapes of pot still, different ways of running our stills, and changing the peat levels in the malted barley we're using. By changing the flavour influences, we're able to create a range of flavour styles of new make spirit. For each style of new make spirit, it's filled into American oak casks and matured individually. Once mature, we bring together different combinations of these spirit styles in a way that is specific to each of our Loch Lomond expressions. I'd like to introduce you to our Loch Lomond Original expression for global travel retail. The majority of the single malt in the original is 5 to 8 years old, and it's been matured in a high percentage of first fill bourbon. This allows us to bring a lot of spirit character, a lot of distillery character, so fresh, vibrant fruit, balanced with a stronger wood influence from the first fill bourbon. The kind of sweetness and vanilla from the bourbon is then supporting that vibrant fruit character. We also use a smaller portion of older, so we use some 10 to 18-year-old, and that adds some aged character and depth. So on the nose, we're getting a malty golden biscuit and some light fruitiness. On the taste, we get a honey sweetness coming through, followed by some peach and pear, an orange citrus, and creamy vanilla. The finish is medium length with a touch of smoke and peat. Our Loch Lomond Madeira cask finish is our rich and fruity expression for global travel retail. For Loch Lomond Madeira, we combine the fruit character we get through our distillation with an additional fruity sweet character from the Madeira casks. We use 100% unpeated malted barley, distilled in our straight neck pot stills collected at high strength. This captures all the fruity, sweet, estery notes that come through at the start of the distillation. We then mature in refill American oak casks. This keeps as much of the distillery character as we can, that then gives balance when we finish in the Madeira. The Madeira casks give a rich, dried fruit, nutty character that combine well and complement the fruitiness we get from the distillery character itself. On the nose, we get fresh orange and almond marzipan with some nutmeg spice. On the taste, there's peach and fig, a butterscotch sweetness, and some walnut. The finish is long, with dry grape tannins and a lingering nuttiness. For our Loch Lomond 12-year-old single malt, we use 4 spirit styles. By combining these 4 spirit styles, we get a very balanced flavour profile. The fruity character comes from our long fermentation times and straight neck pot stills. The sweetness comes from the refill American oak, giving a gentle, soft background sweetness. And the peat comes from, again, our straight neck pot stills. When we distill peat in our straight neck pot stills, we get a softer, more approachable style of peat character. And it's this balance between all the flavours makes this our most representative expression for our distillery. On the nose, we're getting green apple, pear, and some lemon citrus. On the taste, we're getting those soft fruits coming through, the peach, pear, and lemon meringue character. getting that lemon citrus followed by vanilla and a light biscuit sweetness. On the finish, we're getting a medium length with some gentle wood smoke, adding balance to the fruit and sweet character on the palate. This makes Loch Lomond 12-year-old fresh, approachable, single malt, easy to drink, and again that citrus character just keeps cleansing the palate. I'd like to introduce you to our Loch Lomond Moan 14-year-old, our smoke and spice expression for global travel retail. For this expression, we use 3 styles of spirit distilled from heavily peated malted barley. How you distill heavily peated malted barley affects the flavour you get from the peat in the new make spirit. So by changing the way we distill the peated malt, we're able to capture different flavours from the peat. For our Swan Neck stills, they give you a big medicinal peat character, and then with our straight neck pot stills, they're more selective, so we get a slightly different peat character. For the straight neck pot stills at the low collection strength, we get a smokiness, and the straight neck pot stills collected at high strength, we get a spicy peat character. For each of the 3 types of new make spirit, we mature them individually in different types of American oak, some first fill bourbon, some refill American oak, and some recharred American oak for 14 years. And once they're mature, we combine them together in a way that gives a balanced peat character. We soften the big aggressive phenols, keep the smoke, and bring out the spiciness. So on the nose, we get a smouldering peat smoke, some green apple and vanilla. On the taste, there's a smoky peat, some vanilla toffee sweetness with apple and pear fruit and clove spice. On the finish, it's long with peat smoke and green fruit. Enjoy. The Loch Lomond Inchmarin 18-year-old is our fruity and sweet expression for global travel retail. With Inchmarin 18, we're looking to capture as much fruit character in this expression as we can. So we use all unpeated spirit distilled in our straight neck pot still, collected at high strength. This captures all the fruity, sweet, estery notes that come through at the start of the distillation. We then mature in refill American oak casks that give a softer wood influence over time. So at 18 years, we've kept as much of the distillery character as we can. Throughout the maturation, the flavours are intensifying, combining together, and we get a shift towards tropical fruit character. So on the nose, we get a rich heather honey with some orange and vanilla. On the taste, the tropical fruit comes through with pineapple, mango and kiwi, and a zesty citrus note. The finish is long, warming, with elegant oak and stem ginger. Enjoy. So there we have it, our full range of global travel retail expressions. They give a great representation of our distillery and how we use different shapes of pot stills, different ways of running our stills, and different levels of peat in our malted barley to create as much flavour as we can at the start of the whisky making process. They also show how through careful selection of wood, we can use different casks to showcase that distillery character. Enjoy.